The tyranny of time. Time was not always obedient. Before it was trapped behind glass, before it ticked lightly from wrists and towers, time was wild, ancient, untamed, and feared. In the beginning, humanity did not measure time. They survived it. The sun rose, the sun fell, seasons devoured crops and birthed them again. The moon swelled like a silent oracle in the sky. Time was a god no one dared question. Until someone did. In the shadows of ancient Mesopotamia, beneath skies thick with dust and prophecy, priests carved the first divisions of eternity into stone. Sundials. A circle, a shadow, a line. It seemed innocent, but it was rebellion. To divide the day was to wound the infinite. To mark a shadow's crawl was to whisper, "We can command this." But sundials had limits. They were helpless in darkness. Night swallowed control whole. And so, humanity sought light. In Egypt, towering obelisks were erected, colossal spears of stone piercing the heavens. Their shadows stretched like long fingers across temple floors. Priests learned the angles of the sun. They learned patterns. Patterns meant prediction. Prediction meant power. Kings no longer ruled by strength alone. They ruled by timing. Harvests were commanded. Wars were launched at astrologically precise hours. Ceremonies synchronized with the stars. Time had begun to bow, but it was still incomplete. In the secret of water. In hidden chambers lit by oil lamps, Greek engineers crafted devices that whispered and dripped in the dark. Water clocks. Clepsydras, bowls that leaked with deliberate slowness, water slipping through stone like seconds through flesh. Now time could be measured even when the sun hid. Courts used them to limit speeches. Philosophers measured thought against dripping water. Armies rationed strategy by its fall. It was no longer enough to watch time. Humanity began to control it. But control breeds obsession. The more precise the measurement, the greater the hunger. In China, towering astronomical clocks rose, monstrous mechanical beasts of bronze and gears, powered by water wheels and intricate escapements. These were not simple devices. They were mechanical universes, and their blueprints were guarded like forbidden scriptures. When invading armies approached, clockmakers destroyed their own creations rather than let knowledge fall into enemy hands, because time, once mastered, was more powerful than any sword. The mechanical heartbeat. Then came the Middle Ages, and with them, the ticking. Monasteries demanded discipline, prayer at precise hours, lives divided into sacred increments. Somewhere in Europe, in the cold belly of a cathedral workshop, an anonymous craftsman constructed something terrifying. The first mechanical clock. Iron gears, weighted stones, and escapement mechanism that clicked forward in relentless rhythm. Tick, tock, tick, tock. It sounded like a heartbeat, but not a human one. This was something colder. These early clocks did not have faces. They did not need them. They rang bells, heavy, echoing declarations that time had moved, whether you wished it or not. Villages reorganized their existence around those bells. Work began not with sunrise, but with the chime. Time was no longer divine. It was mechanical, predictable, merciless, and it spread. Clock towers rose in city centers like watchful sentinels. Their faces stared down at the masses. Gears hidden behind stone walls turned with unfeeling precision. Kings realized something chilling. If you control time, you control people. Curfews, work hours, tax deadlines, military coordination. The Industrial Revolution would later sharpen this blade. Factories did not run on steam alone. They ran on synchronized seconds. Workers entered at 8 a.m., left at 6 p.m., breaks measured to the minute. Time became currency, and those who wasted it were punished. The ticking grew louder. The watchmaker's oath. In the 16th century, something smaller and more intimate emerged, the portable clock. Peter Henlein of Nuremberg crafted early spring-driven watches. Time was no longer anchored to towers. It could be carried, hidden in pockets, worn against the heart. This was a quiet revolution. No longer did people rely solely on church bells. They carried authority within their coats. But precision was elusive. Seconds slipped. Mechanisms faltered. Then came Christian Huygens in 1656 with the pendulum clock, a swinging weight that corrected chaos. With it came unprecedented accuracy, and obsession intensified. Watchmakers became secretive, guilds formed, techniques passed down like sacred rites. Springs, jewels, balance wheels, each innovation tighter, more exact. It was whispered that some craftsmen went mad chasing perfect precision.
because perfect in time meant mastery over life itself, and life does not surrender easily. The fracture of eternity. The 20th century shattered everything. Quartz clocks arrived. A crystal, when electrified, vibrates at a precise frequency. Invisible oscillations replacing gears. Time reduced to vibration. Then came the atomic clock. Not gears, not pendulums, not crystals. Atoms. Cesium-133 atoms vibrating 9,192,631,770 times per second. That number defines a second. Time was no longer measured by the heavens, it was measured by the behavior of matter itself. We had descended to the quantum level to enslave eternity. Global positioning systems depend on atomic clocks so precise that a billionth of a second error could misplace you by miles. Satellites orbit the planet, correcting time distortions predicted by Einstein's relativity. Yes, even time bends. Even time is not absolute, and yet we measure it anyway, coldly, confidently, as if we own it. The illusion of control. Today, time lives in your phone, in servers buried beneath mountains, in synchronized pulses shared across continents. You wake to it, you eat by it, you age by it. But here's the secret humanity rarely admits. We never truly controlled time. We only built better cages to convince ourselves we did. Every tick is a reminder, every deadline a chain, every birthday a tolling bell. The clocks do not care who you are. They do not slow for love. They do not pause for grief. They do not accelerate for ambition. They move, always forward, relentless, unforgiving. The ancient priests who first carved shadows into stone believed they were deciphering the gods. Instead, they began a quiet war, a war against eternity. And perhaps, just perhaps, eternity is winning, because one day every clock will stop, gears will rust, circuits will fail, atoms will fall silent, and time will remain unmeasured, unbroken, untamed. Tick, tock.